Public Wi-Fi or cyber attack, the attack of the man in the middle. Public Wi-Fi is more frequently available at most public places, a few including libraries, cafes, and airports. But how secure is it? What if what you think is a public Wi-Fi access is actually not? This is a type of cyber attack, better known as the man in the middle. Here's a scenario in which this can be applied. Imagine that you work from home and you decide that you would rather go work and enjoy some coffee at a local coffee shop for a change in scenery. The coffee shop offers Wi-Fi, which is available to all customers free of charge. When you arrive, the atmosphere is ideal for working and you get your favorite drink and sit down at a table. You work for a company that requires client confidentiality, but you assume you've taken all the correct steps in protecting client information with passwords, and by sitting where no one can openly see your screen. Finally, ready to work, you set up your computer and connect to the coffee shop's Wi-Fi. However, something else is happening at this time. What you don't know is that the person at the table next to you has set up a hotspot that looks very similar to the coffee shop's Wi-Fi server, sent with a similar name, and is now seeing everything on your computer in real time. At this point, anything you send or receive can be intercepted by the attacker, and your information, as well as your client's information, is no longer safe. This is known as a middleman attack. So what is a middleman attack? This type of attack happens when an attacker intercepts communication between two systems. In this case, your laptop and the coffee shop's public Wi-Fi. However, the victim may not know this, as the attacker can relay information between the two parties, making them believe they are in direct contact with one another, but in reality, the attacker has access to your entire device. Think of it as someone opening your package before you receive it from the seller, and then they reseal it so that you are none the wiser, but they have now accessed personal information of yours without your consent. By gaining access to your computer through the hotspot, the attacker can now see confidential information, eavesdrop, or even modify information on your device which could potentially be harmful to your clients. The attacker can set off this attack in a few different ways. In this case, a fake Wi-Fi hotspot was used, but it can also be done other ways as well. It can be done by redirecting the victim to a fake website unknowingly that has no encryption, as well as through removing encryption from HTTPS connections. These forms of attacks are very easily missed unless looked at closely for inconsistencies. This isn't the first time this has happened, and these cyber attacks have affected many people. Other places that use public Wi-Fi have been at risk too. Some examples may include libraries, restaurants, banks, airports, and so much more. This attack can happen to anyone in almost any place, including foreign countries. There are a few more notable instances of this attack occurring. In 2017, when Equifax, a major credit card history company, was breached and many of their clients' information was taken and sold to the dark web. Another instance was when the NSA disguised itself as Google, which is an example of a fake website method of attack, to intercept digital communications between users and Google servers. Places like hotels and airports have also reported cybersecurity threats, as attackers use the man-in-the-middle attack to steal travelers' data, whether work-related or otherwise. When these attackers access your information, they are able to do a multitude of things that can negatively impact your life, both immediately and in the long run. They could steal your banking information to access your accounts. They could steal identifying personal information to use your identity to put charges and loans in your name. They could even sell your information throughout the dark web, which leaves you vulnerable to future attacks and fraudulent charges. So how do we prevent this and stay safe in public settings? Your data is valuable to you and should remain private and confidential. Luckily, there's a few simple things we can do to protect our information. One thing we can do is to always ensure auto-join hotspots on our devices is turned off. Another thing would be to disable any sharing settings with devices we don't recognize. In the case previously stated, the user should have made sure that there was a password on the Wi-Fi and double-checked. We can also set up a virtual private network, also known as a VPN, which secures your internet connection and encrypts your private information. When accessing your private information, like banking or any other sensitive accounts that might be confidential, avoid connecting to any public Wi-Fis without security and try using mobile data instead. Keeping your devices up to date with new software often helps as the software contains patches that fix vulnerabilities found in the old software. Finally, when using the internet and accessing different websites, always be sure to check that the URL contains HTTPS instead of HTTP and that there is a lock icon next to the URL, both of which signify that the website is secure. Thanks for watching.